After a splendid victory of InstaForex Loprais team in the Silkway Rally this year, when Tatra's pilot Loprais took gold, the new step has started – preparation for Dakar Rally Marathon. Today we will tell you how Alish spends his time between the races. Worth mentioning that our hero comes as a follower of his uncle Karl Loprais, six-time winner of one of the toughest races in the world, Dakar Rally. Alish was sitting in the race in Tatra since 7 years old. Shortly before his uncle's Karl debuted race in 1986 in Dakar. The rising addiction to cars eased the interest to education. Family business privilege over finally. Alish did not become a lover, but reached success as a businessman and racer.
Alish
was addicted to Dakar very much, since he was a child already, so he had a chance to see competitions in the street. Then, in 2006, he came with me as a navigator. In that year, I got a spine injury. In a year, Alish took the 3rd place.
The racing for me, it's the lifestyle. It's the lifestyle, and it has nothing to do with the job, or I can even not say that it's just a hobby. It's more than the hobby, and it's a part of our history, and I think that's the right word.
To byla vlastně příčina toho, že já jsem skončil s tím jezdením.
The reason is that I quitted competing because of injury, and Alish got behind Tatra's wheel for the first time. They were having some small races in Morocco making tests. Then later he got into an old car and went to the race Paris-Dakar 2007.
Paříž-Dakar 2007.
After making his debut as a navigator next to his uncle in 2006, a year later Alish became the world's most famous rally racer. Evidently, we should notice the influence of our relative on our dreams and strivings. That is how beloved and honored of all Uncle Karl Loprais has become a model to emulate for Alish. We were talking about this offer with my brother Milan, and I'm very glad that Alish agreed, as he looks like able to race instead of me and become a follower who is going to win Dakar.
I can say that we have a nice family Dakar history due to my uncle who won the Dakar 6 times, and I'm trying to following his steps. Sometimes it's not easy, but sometimes we are able to succeed. Even if we win some stage or something like this, it's a satisfaction for us, and also we have a similar business due to that, because we are selling Tatra trucks and spare parts, and we are really close to this category, track category. So we can use any spare parts from our stock quite immediately and to make service as fast as possible. So that's why we have chosen the truck category as the most competitive one, and due to the history as well.
Tatra, Czech company manufacturer of transport vehicles with a headquarters in Kopřivnice, named after Tatra's mountains. Due to unique patented construction of herring bone frame and air-cooled engine, Tatra cars are lighter and more cost-effective than rivals. These advantages allowed them to be repeat winners of the Dakar Rally. Here is the Tatra winner of Paris-Dakar Rally. Tatra won 6 times, and every time with Karl Loprais. Taking around with the racer, we had a chance to experience the role of a sandhill conqueror. Even on perfect asphalt, the truck shakes awful. It's hard to imagine the quake felt by crew during scarce road races. After all, the speed recorder could overbear 140 km/h sometimes. Take sudden temperature drops, a breathtaking drive, non-stop adrenaline splashes, and you will get a cocktail called Dakar Rally.
If I am racing, I like the dust, I like the gravel, and even sometimes it's the mud or the snow. I really love snow in the winter, so if you have a 4-wheel drive car, I love the snow, because you can do the slides, you can do anything, even with a little bit less powerful car. If I'm driving in the standard car, I also like the snow. When it's raining, it's not a problem for me. You have to love driving, and you have to enjoy it. That's the first point. I just a few weeks ago tested the speedboat, which is similar to the Formula, but I have to say that from my point of view the rally is much more dangerous, and I admire the rally drivers much more than the circuit drivers due to the dangerous situation which they have to overstand, and we never know where we are going. But I admire as Formula One drivers, as rally drivers, but if I can choose, I would choose the rally as well.
Cross-country vehicle columns move deliberately along narrow streets of a small Czech town. The only purpose is Rožnov city, where official opening of InstaForex Loprais team is to take place. Team friends and sponsors were invited to the presentation. Among them there are famous Fire Easter, Artur Ardavicius, Karl Loprais, Igor Kozlov and Desera.
There is a lot of requirements, because now we start the preparation for the Rally Dakar, so we have a lot of works, and we need to rebuild the trucks, to do the promotion things with the partners, to make the test session and so on. So there is a lot of things what we have to do, and now we start the first session of preparation for the Dakar 2012.
Tatra Jamal, Cup winner of Silkwear Rally 2011, will be presented again under the banner of InstaForex Loprais team in traditional colors. In addition to the current auto service, slight modifications were implemented that will make it faster.
После каждой гонки, когда мы вернемся,
After each race, we come back and knock down the sport car, check all axles, brake levers, engine, gearshift transmission, and prepare all this for the next competition. So we are going to change old parts to new ones. Today you see that the works is about to be finished. We need 2 months to get the truck ready for another race. 4 mechanics are busy with one track repairing. That's enough. The engine is standard, but it has high power because we took special tubings for this engine. 2 separate tubings make high-performance engine. We've got 850 horsepower. After each big race, the truck is exposed to troubleshooting necessarily. In most cases, it gets a modern upgrade in order to obtain prize places at the next marathon.
My position is quite a little bit different. I have to recognize what is needed to do. I have to tell it to our mechanics, and they have to solve it. Mostly it is quite under the rush because it's doing after each stage, and we have to solve the problems really fast.
A priority for professional is the ability to feel the edge, and how it's usually said, not to abuse your empowerment. In endless sand dunes, Aleš is driving the truck the same brutally and willfully as the road itself. In everyday driving, a big-name racer turns to a delicate and careful motoring fan. No matter it's a racing car, the rules are made for everybody all in all.
Driving in the city, it's quite different because I enjoy the nature. Sometimes you see the people you know. A lot of people is saying you hello through behind the wheel and so on. So that's totally different than we can say it's relaxing, much more than being in the racing cabin.
But when Aleš wants to get his adrenaline dose, he goes out to a clear field and depresses the accelerator pedal to maximum.
From my point of view, the races are quite romantic if everything goes well, but when you have some technical problems or something like this, you are totally changing your mind during the situation. So I remember a lot of nice situations in the desert, but when we get stuck or get out of the piste, we destroy the front axle, it's all over. So sometimes the Dakar is really tough. If I'm romantic, maybe you have to ask my girlfriend. Yeah, that's quite strange, but never know. Sometimes yes, but mostly I can say I'm a standard boy with a standard vision, and how can I say it? I wouldn't say about myself that I'm a romantic type.
How about of rally? Ales Loprais is still a romantic, fell in love with drive and speed.
I used to do a mountain bike downhill before. It was as well extreme sport, but the Dakar is giving me more passion at this moment. It's much more longer than, for example, just one downhill on the mountain bike. But I like as well skiing, downhill skiing, cross-country skiing. I used to do tennis and all the other things. I started with scuba diving, which is also interesting for me to see the underwater life as well. What I admire is hill climbing. That's one of my favorite as well. But if I would choose at this moment, if I have time, I'm going on the mountain bike.
On 28th of October in Paris, a full road of the forthcoming race Dakar 2012 will be performed, and by the end of November the cars will go to Coverport. From this point they are going to make tracks for South America. Ales Loprais is to experience a real adventure. He will strive for victory flowing along sandbanks waves, similar to InstaForex traders when they drift on currency chart waves towards their goal. But that will be later. And now we can relax a little and have a glass of white wine listening to a rock and roll band. In the fact, track racing is a rock and roll in some sense.